It's also about understanding physical limitations. We're all going to have pains. Sometimes they are long-term, sometimes it's just temporary. So it's also good to prepare yourself before you're going out on a big hike and stuff like that. You know, if you're at the gym and you have an injury, it's a lot easier to get in your car and just go home. If you're 10 miles in on a 20-mile hike, it might not be so simple. So it's definitely good to pre-plan as hard as you can about the physical limitations that you might have before you get out in the backcountry or get a little bit further away from civilization. Something that's also pretty important to me is that the whole outdoor industry, the outdoor gear industry, it has changed a lot just over the past 10 years, but 30 years in general. Everything has shrunk, everything has gotten lighter. They've just vastly changed everything, and something that I've noticed is people do tend to get stuck in their ways a little bit, and I have certain gear in mind that I won't put down. I always have a big knife that I carry with me when I go out. Even though a little pocket knife would do it, I just have sentimental value with it. And I see some people that have sentimental value with some of the big old military surplus packs and big old cooking pots and stoves. But the field of gear has changed so much to help people enjoy it more by weighing less. And I think that's kind of key these days to not overdoing it on your joints, your ankles, your knees. Everything is just sized down drastically, and I just see a lot of people get stuck in certain mindsets of having old gear, even though there's nothing wrong with that. You can treat your body a lot easier with some of the new stuff that's coming out. And it's not just REI, it's all across the board, though we do have a lot of very lightweight stuff. That pack is sub 2 pounds almost right there.
Yeah, the reason I've got these both up here is this is a pack I use in the summer on the trail for the national park. It's a Gregory Savant 38 liter. And I can get everything I need for 6 days in the 38 liter pack. And I've got some room left over because now we're required to carry beer canisters. And I hate to tell you guys that are getting used to doing a little bit of Appalachian trail hiking, beer canisters are coming. Maybe not next year, the following year, but they're going to be required by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy out of Parkhurst.
And if you're not familiar with a bear canister, it is what it sounds like, a large bear-proof container that they cannot get into.
It would take up, I carry a 450 bear canister. It takes up half of my pack. This is the REI Flash Super Light, Ultralight pack. When I try to lift these two, you know, there is a significant difference, although I've got, I think, my sleeping bag and tent poles in here, though. But everybody's trying to go as ultralight as possible. The only thing I would have a little caveat on that is that make sure you are comfortable with that ultralight philosophy.
Yes, absolutely. So I tell people that you should overpack for your first time going out, because if you're not used to backpacking, never done it before, you've never been camping, you really don't know what you need. And you could come into the store or talk to a friend, and they could tell you what they think you might need, but they're never going to know your person. Do you sleep cold at night? Do you get really dehydrated? There's a lot of different things that they don't know about you that only you can answer through experience. So I tell people all the time that are slashing their gear and saying, I don't need this jacket, I don't need this water bottle, I don't need this extra food pack. Overpack the first time, go out there and figure out for yourself what you do need, and then come back and start scaling down on your gear, your pack, all the different things that you're carrying with you, because only you can make that decision of what you need or what you need to carry or what you think you have to have out there.
Ray, talk a little bit about the new foods.
Yeah, so one thing that I know we both love is the freeze-dried mountain houses, the oatmeals, the pro packs, the good-to-go foods. So it's just a simple way to take the hassle out of messing up your cook pot and having to clean it, or burning food, or being a gourmet chef.
Even taking it.
Yeah, or even packing it with you. It's just so simple because they can just fold completely flat. But almost all of these foods, excluding this one, which is actually even easier, almost all of them, all you have to do is add a cup of boiling water to them, let them sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and you have a meal in a pouch that you can eat right out of. It's no mess, no cleanup, just fold it away and put it in the trash bag and it's good to go. And this one even has its own heat unit in it, so you just add the water to that one, yeah.
The reason I brought all these different kinds though was I want you to feel the weight, when you come up here, to feel the weight of the different ones. This is single serving, really, really light, but this one might be just for like an overnight or special trip because it is heavier, you know, and it has its own heating unit in it. So you wouldn't have to you would save on taking any sort of cooking equipment with you. But just kind of go through this. The Good to Go is made in Maine. It's really, really tasty. It has less preservatives, so it doesn't last as long on the shelf, but it's very good and has a better flavor than I'd say even Mountain House for me. I think it's really good. Yeah.
I'm a fan of the Mountain Houses, so.
That's because they're bigger.
That's exactly why.
It feeds 2.5 people.
And in general, it's also just, you should always just have a preparedness plan. You should always have laid out the gear you're taking, the food, water. I'm a big fan of hiking with a buddy because I like to have them check down my gear and me check down their gear. And especially if you're going with a new group of people, any of those situations, it's good to kind of look over somebody else's stuff and make sure they have everything, and in turn them checking you guys can kind of cross paths on that one. Medical kits, prescriptions, you just want to dial in all those things, make sure that you have Advil, basic medical kit, cell phones, you know, you're going to think most of the time you're not going to have any service out there. So I've actually become a big believer in spot devices or inReach GPS devices. I never used to use them, and I've seen a lot of close friends of mine get in some very scary situations. Though they can be a bit expensive, you know, the one time you have to use it eliminates that cost right away if it saves your life. You want to talk a little bit about safety plans?